Another question I have is, Aboli, how does healthcare design, according to you, how does healthcare design improve the industry, the medical industry in general, and what is the scope of healthcare design according to you? What is its future scope?
The industry, you mean the healthcare industry or the design industry?
Healthcare industry.
Yeah. So I think uh, you will see a lot of new people coming into healthcare design simply because people are now realizing how badly designed healthcare products are. And one of the reasons for that is these are technically usually extremely complex products. Even if you're talking about physical or digital products, whatever, the compliances or the regulatory frameworks that you have to work within and the amount of informational complexity that you're dealing with is extremely high. And so because of that, you see people approaching it from a very technical angle and not necessarily from a user centered or a human centered angle. So I think the more designers that start working in healthcare, it's like the greatest thing that can possibly happen, because we're kind of thinking about it from a perspective of someone has to use this technology. There's a reason that entire hospitals still operate on paper. It's because most of the tech that exists is almost completely unusable. And people don't want to use terrible technology, especially not when you're a doctor and your main focus is, how can I help this patient? Your main focus is not like, I want to document everything that I'm doing, right? So I think there's always like an immense amount of scope in this industry because, like I said, people are slowly waking up to the fact that there needs to be change, and you need to approach this from the perspective of who is actually using your product and not just from a perspective of technology, you know?
And how do you feel that can happen?
I think you mean how can more designers come into the space?
Yes.
That's a really good question. I think part of it is kind of us as a community. We always want to be human centered, right? And so I think slowly we kind of need to encourage people to take on a little more than they can chew. And that's kind of what ends up happening in this space, where you as a designer can get very easily overwhelmed thinking about the fact that you're working on something that is potentially, life or death related, for example. um, I think it would be really great if we can just uh, empower each other to do that kind of work, create spaces where we are able to do that kind of work and kind of step up to owning that and taking the responsibility for that, and um, yeah, doing all that work.